said he gifted television sets to some delegates, describing them as gifts and not intended to induce voters. Now speaking to Citi News, one of the conveners, Mark Ewusi-Akum, says the development threatens democratic integrity.
Our laws does not allow this. Section 33 of the Representation of People's Law prohibits vote buying in general elections. Unfortunately, the challenge we have here is that the current scope does not cover internal party elections. And so this has created a loophole that the aspirants or the candidates feel emboldened to engage in such malpractices. And we think that it's about time we come together as a nation and look at prohibiting it just as prescribed by law. We cannot give leadership to those with deep pockets. It must be those who have the skills, the knowledge, and the ability. If one has money but does not have the qualities of a leader or does not have good records as a leader, because his pockets are deep, he would win elections over a competent individual who perhaps, if had money, could also win. I think we are destroying the very fabric of our democracy, and we need to be very careful.
Now, Election Watch Ghana has also commended the National Democratic Congress for stepping in to probe these allegations.
I believe they have established protocols, punitive measures that is given to those who perpetrate such blatant disregard to their own party constitution. It is now time for Ghanaians to really test the self-acclaimed accountable party that they are with probity and accountability. It is time for Ghanaians to test that. And so it shouldn't just be a word of mouth that the NDC have issued a statement, but they should take back their words and make sure that they take action against those who will be found culpable after the investigation process.
You heard Mark Ewusi-Akum. He is a convener for Election Watch Ghana. Now, on probing allegations of vote buying, the Director of Strategy, Research and Communications at the Office of the Special Prosecutor, Sami Dako, has rejected claims that the Special Prosecutor is selectively targeting the National Democratic Congress. He says the OSP's actions are non-partisan and not intended to single out any political party. Speaking on the Citi Breakfast Show, he explained that investigations into alleged vote buying during both the NPP presidential primary and the NDC Ayawaso East parliamentary primary are guided strictly by law and available evidence.
You read our statement very well. You notice that this statement is not just about what just happened at Ayawaso West Wagon. Neither is it just about what happened during the MPP primaries. It's generally that we are reminding Ghanaians that vote buying, vote selling is prohibited by law and that we must refrain from it. So in the two instances, if you read the third paragraph, you know the focus of what we are doing for both instances. So I don't also understand how some people were reading the statement, because they said that there's only one paragraph for the MPP and the rest is NDC. It doesn't add up. It's purely that we are stated in paragraph 1, MPP. We are stated in paragraph 2, NDC. And in paragraph 3, we talk about what is it that we are investigating in those instances.
Now, Sami Dako also adds that election bribery cases are often difficult to secure convictions, noting that its role is to present facts fairly, leaving final decisions to the courts.
The facts of the case will determine what the prosecutor will do. Sometimes some people will not be prosecuted. They may be used as prosecution witness because it's easier to prove, let's say, buying of the vote than selling. So the facts of the case will determine all these things. And they are done when all the evidence are pieced together. That's when the prosecutor will then make a decision as to whether I'm going to use this as a witness, or in this case it's so clear and straight to the point. So I'm able to establish all the elements of the offense. But I cannot on air right now sort of give you the entire scenario, but I can give you a scenario of, that's why I give you that of the video that a woman was saying that it's our time to eat. Because when when we vote for them and they go back, we don't get any direct benefit from them. And so I want to get my pound of the national cake now. In that sense, for me, it's very explicit where the person is now showing real intention that they want to sell their votes or that their votes are for sale.
You had the Director for Strategy, Research and Communications at the Office of the Special Prosecutor, Sami Dako. Well, let's stay with this subject. My colleague Fauzi Masaudu is currently at a venue where NDC Ayawasu East executives are expected to address the press pretty shortly. Good afternoon to you, Fauzi. You've been on this beat since campaigning began. We know the condemnation that has come from the party and from the majority caucus. What are you picking up from the executives as they prepare to address the public?
Okay, Charles, the NDC primary may have been over, but sleeping dogs are definitely not been left to lie. The most recent is that the constituency executive body for the NDC in Ayawaso East were scheduled to have a meeting, but from the information that we have picked up, the meeting was hit with some form of confusion, so that meeting couldn't end successfully. The press meeting was supposed to have happened after that closed door meeting with the executive, but then we were able to engage the executive, the constituency's communication director, that's Isa Musa, and he has registered his displeasure on behalf of the executive body about the position of the majority caucus on the matter. He says that the majority caucus should mind their own business and that they have no locus in meddling in the affairs of the Ayawaso East constituency NDC primary. He also criticized the national body for the NDC for going ahead to put out that communique which communicated the commencement of probe into the matter without consulting the executive body at the constituency level. And so clearly they are unhappy about that decision by the party, but they have indicated that they are willing to accept any outcome of that probe that the national executive body of the NDC has commenced.
Now, Fauzi, what about the contestants themselves, especially Baba Jamal, who has been at the center of this controversy? What are you picking up from his campaign team? Are they happy with...
Baba Jamal's campaign team have not said a word as yet. We tried to also reach Baba Jamal on phone himself, but he's sightless. But then the information we have also gathered is that he has been invited by the committee set up to probe the issue. And so today he's expected to make an appearance before that committee. That's the information that we have gathered so far on the ground, but there's yet to be an official communication from his campaign.
What about the first runner-up, the wife of the late MP? There are calls that this election should be annulled. I'm sure that she must be excited about this.
So, Charles, when we spoke to them on Saturday after the declaration of results, they indicated, specifically spokesperson for the campaign indicated their commitment to supporting Baba Jamal ahead of the March 3 by-election, but we do not know if their position on that matter has changed as yet, given the fact that the majority caucus is calling for an announcement of the results and the NDC's commencement of probing into the matter. We have not heard from them as yet, but if there is anything from their camp, we shall keep our listeners up to date.
All right, grateful to you. Fauzi Masaudu, he is my colleague here in the Citi newsroom, keeping an eye on events happening there at Ayawaso East, where the NDC held its parliamentary primary for the upcoming by-election. That primary has come under scrutiny following allegations of vote buying. Let's stay with that. A political science lecturer at the University of Cape Coast, Dr. Jonathan Asante-Otwe, has condemned what he describes as a growing trend of vote buying in Ghana's politics. His comments follow allegations linked to the Ayawaso East primary. He warned that without strong safeguards, democracy risks being reduced to a commodity.
And it is something that has characterized the political, landscape for quite some time. And if you remember, in years back in the 90s, the MPP used to accuse Mr. Rawlings' era of distributing kakao and bentua. Now they have really grown, they have matured to a level where, We are seeing television sets, we are seeing fridges, and so on and so forth, motorbikes, and so on and so forth. And so this particular subculture ought to be condemned in no uncertain terms. But as to how we need to deal with such a canker, that's something that the political parties will have to devise means to do with that. Because the point is that it is not something that is sustainable. You know, the point is that they spend this kind of money. These people are not Father Christmas. What would they do? They'll find means and recoup that lost investment. It will definitely come back to all of us as debt that we have to bear as a nation. And so for me, these parties ought to be condemned, whichever way you look at it. Everybody else is guilty. The accusers are equally guilty. And today it is Mr. Jamal's issue that has come up. And it is equally condemnable. And that is my position on it.
Now, Dr. Jonathan Asante-Okyere also commended the efforts of the states and NDC executives to investigate the allegations. He, however, expressed doubts over the OSP's capacity to thoroughly and independently probe the matter.
I think that this is a practical improvement on the whole issue of vote buying. As a nation and as a party that finds itself in government, many will be looking up to the report, you know, and the kind of sanctions that they may mete out, as it were, to the perpetrators. And with the issue of OSP, I dare say that we were in this country when an MC nominated by former President Akufo-Addo, who had to give money to these assembly people, they did not vote for him, and he in turn demanded his money. This issue went to the OSP. The OSP not long ago discontinued that particular case. We saw a similar thing with the Kwadaso MP or so, who gave envelope to EC officials. We didn't see where it got to. So the OSP doesn't have that kind of record, and especially when it comes to the two main political parties. The record of the OSP is nothing to write home about.
That was political science lecturer at the University of Cape Coast, Dr. Jonathan Asante-Okyere. You're still listening to the City Prime News here on 97.3 Citi FM, broadcasting from Accra in the northern region. The news is live on Dasuma 99.1 FM in Yendi. In the Upper East region, we're on Word FM 88.3 in Zwarungu and Boga 102.7 FM in Bogatanga. We are also on Gunzang 90.1 FM in Tongo. In the Upper West region, the news is live on Westlink 88.1 FM in Laura and Pupili 92.7 FM in Wa. And in the Northeast region, we're on Eagle FM 94.1 FM. Still ahead in the bulletin, pressure mounts on Giadec CEO as Valco workers demand his resignation over alleged incompetence. We have details in a bit. Please stay with us.
City Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers. As a business executive, it is easy to get lost in the detail. Kwame has everything going for him at work. Congratulations, Kwame.
As always, man.
At Republic Bank, we focus on your business growth while cultivating relationships that create balance in your life. Our team provides reliable investment advice and partner offers that enhance your experience. Big up! Join the Republic Verse, where you can work with ease and unwind at your own pace. Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
We are gearing up for the trip of a lifetime. Heritage Caravan 2026. From 1st to 8th March 2026, 8 days, 14 regions, 1 legendary caravan. We're touring Ghana in the most spectacular way on the Heritage Caravan, exploring the beauty, history, and stories that make our nation unique. Rolling out from Greater Accra through Eastern and OT, up north to the Northern and Upper East, and all the way city to the western region, hitting iconic destinations across Ghana. The Heritage Caravan 2026 will be fun, educative, refreshing, and most of all, remarkable. Stay connected. Follow Channel 1 TV and 97.3 Citi FM across all social media platforms for updates and join the conversation using the hashtag Heritage Caravan 2026. The Heritage Caravan 2026 is powered by Channel 1 TV with support from Citi FM.
And it's proudly sponsored by Holland Insurance, Piva Beverages, Omni Basic Bank, Caveman Watches, Gino, Didi Sheto, Goyle, Mini-Me Achumo, and Admi Granite Paste. And it's supported by Nanes Rice.
Heritage Caravan 2026, experience Ghana like never before.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Yeah, welcome back. This is the Citi Prime News on 97.3 Citi FM. I am Charles Osukumi. In some more stories, the Ashanti caucus of the minority group in Parliament is accusing the government of selective priority and funding for credit card road project. The caucus states that plans by the government to reduce the Swami interchange from 4 to a 2-tier facility are economically inappropriate. Addressing journalists, a former Roads and Highways Minister, Francis Asensubuachu, says the government must reconsider this decision.
Kumasi, as you all know, is Ghana's second largest city, serves as a strategic national transit hub, transportation modal hub, continues to experience rapid growth in population and vehicle ownership. Shortchanging Kumasi on a project of this scale is technically indefensible, economically unwise, and politically unjust. I want to emphasize that the Swami Interchange project was conceived as a long-term solution, not a short-term compromise. The Ashanti Caucus of Parliament therefore calls on government to restore the original 4-tier design of the Swami Interchange project, reprioritize funding to complete the project as designed and planned, and engage transparently with Parliament and the people of Kumasi and Ashanti region in general on the way forward. Kumasi deserves infrastructure that reflects its national importance, not have solutions justified by selective constraints.
Now, the Ashanti caucus also questioned the government's decision to abandon the Accra-Kumasi dualization project for a new expressway.
If government claims it lacks funds to complete the full design of the Swami Interchange project, why is it financing 64 new road projects recently rushed through PPA, public procurement system processes? Why prioritize new commitments over completing ongoing and high impact projects? If government claims that it doesn't have money, then why has government abandoned a 64 complete Accra-Kumasi dualization highway project only to pursue a greenfield 3-way expressway at significantly higher costs and risks when it bemoans funding challenges? You see a pattern of discontinuity. These decisions raise a troubling question. Is this government deliberately deprioritizing projects initiated under the MPP administration in favor of projects it can label at its own?
You had a former Roads and Highways Minister, Francis Asenso-Boakye. He's also the Member of Parliament for Bantima. Now, workers of the Tema-based Volta Aluminium Company are calling for the resignation of the Chief Executive for Ghana Integrated Aluminium Development Corporation, Randolph Chumesi Ankra, citing alleged incompetence. The union says Valco has the capacity to operate without external investment and disputes claims of persistent losses. Now, speaking at a protest, chairman of the union, Samuel Tete, urged the president to remove him from office.
Some few people, it belongs to Ghana. And Dr. Kwame Nkrumah gave this land to Valco. Your Excellency, we are here this morning pleading to you that you call Chumesi Ankra to book. Chumesi Ankra must, even by this time, must resign as the CEO of Giade, because he doesn't know his work. As a lawyer, if you study the press release and the interviews and the information they've sent to people like Kevin Taylor, why are you so desperate? You can see the desperation in his eyes and in what he's doing, going from station to station to stations, telling lies. Valco is never making $50 million losses. It's a lie.
Now, Samuel Tete adds that several attempts by the union to engage the GIADEC CEO have yielded no results.
Demigod who doesn't take advice from anybody, who doesn't listen to it, nothing concerns him. What he say he want to do, whether good or bad, that's what he want to do. We wrote him a letter, 18th of December. He hasn't replied the letter, done anything. So we don't know what Chumesi is up to, but he doesn't talk to anybody.
You had a local union chairman for the workers of the Tema-based Volta Aluminium Company, Samuel Tete. Now, away from that, private legal practitioner Martin Pebu has described the new legal education bill as a masterstroke and long overdue. He dismissed claims that the bill seeks to render the Ghana School of Law redundant, saying there are provisions in the bill to address the concern. Speaking to Citi News, he welcomed the bill as a step toward improving legal education and addressing the low number of practicing lawyers in the country.
The proposal to expand access to legal education is a masterstroke. It's actually long overdue. We have made these calls in various quarters over the decades, you see, and it's good the Attorney General is championing it. And even, before him, Honorable Dafia Mekwa was championing such a bill. He and I think Honorable Susu and Co, they even wanted to do it as a private member's bill. And then along the line now, government is taking over. It's long overdue. It's been discussed in legal circles for decades now that we need to expand access to legal education. You see, with this country, currently, as far as I'm aware, we don't have more than 10,000 lawyers. So with a population of about 34 million, that's woefully inadequate. Today, you go to the US, put on the TV, and you see lawyers busily advertising for clients. So America has an oversupply of lawyers, which is good because then it means that then these lawyers will find other jobs if they cannot find jobs in law firms and court. Because with a trained legal mind, you can do a lot. You'll be more critical, etc. You'll be more confident because you know your rights, etc. So Ghana needs double of what America has done.
You heard the voice of private legal practitioner Martin Pebu. Now, to some exciting news, more brands have signed on to support the Heritage Caravan, described as Ghana's leading cultural and heritage tour, organized by Citi FM and Channel One TV. New partners include Goyle, Minimi Achomo, and Admi Granite Paste. Speaking on the Citi Breakfast Show, Head of Events and Partnerships, Freme Dunyami, welcomed the growing private sector backing for the annual experience.
And we are very excited and very delighted to unveil our sponsors. You've rightly mentioned that a caravan is very expensive, so we subsidize it highly. And we have these sponsors who come in to ensure that we give the experience that we promise our patrons. And so, coming on board once again, we have some sponsors who keep coming over and over and over again, and we really do appreciate this. These sponsors, we don't take things for granted. Our first sponsor is Hollard Insurance.
We also have Again, this is in no particular order, but a round of applause for Omni Basic Bank.
The Choba experience, was sponsored by GB Foods. This year they are on with Didi Shito. For the first time, ladies and gentlemen, we are excited to announce the coming on board of Nana's Round.
We have the almighty Piva beverages.
Oh, wonderful.
For the first time, ladies and gentlemen, we are excited to announce the coming on board of Caveman Watches.
Wow.
Caveman.
That's a surprise.
Yeah, it is.
A pleasant one indeed. Is there any more space for people?
As in sponsors?
No, for participants.
2027.
You heard the head of events and partnerships here at Citi FM and Channel 1 TV, Frima Edunyame, and also the head of programs production, Apioko Ashong Seram Abe. And finally, the Ministry of Health says it will begin rolling out free primary healthcare services nationwide in April. The ministry says special attention will be given to non-communicable diseases, which account for between 43 and 45% of deaths in the country. Speaking to Citi News, spokesperson for the ministry, Tony Goodman, says the program will focus on preventive, promotive, and curative care.
We have to stay alive and be productive to the country. So that is why we're introducing this. The Mahama Cares is taking care of aspects that is actually managing people who already have this disease.
You heard the spokesperson for the Ministry of Health, Tony Goodman. Well, that'll be all for this edition of the Citi Prime News, which has been live from our studios here in Accra. For more news, log on to our website, citinewsroom.com. I am Charles Osukomi. Thank you for your time.
Citi News, we speak first. Reach our hotline on 0302-224959 and get interactive on Facebook, Citi 97.3 FM, and on Twitter at Citi 973.
Citi 97.3.